to Circle Time, the Early Years podcast. I'm Glenn Denning. Now, I think we can all agree that using music in nurseries is an integral part of what we do in early years and in childcare. But have you really thought about the benefits of doing that? Well, there is a company around that really invest in those benefits, and particularly with some of their new programs on language and literacy, and that's Boogie Mites. And I'm really delighted that our guest on this edition is Tasha Bretton from Boogie Mites. Tasha, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. So, first of all, tell us what is Boogie Mites, first of all, because I'm sure some people have heard of it, some might not, which is very unusual. But
So Boogie Mites was founded more than 20 years ago. We are a children's music company, so all of our music is original and written in-house. We provide training and monthly webinars to early years practitioners. We're all about bringing music to the under fives. And our mission is to offer early years practitioners and families the knowledge, the confidence, and the resources to harness the brain-boosting fun of active music making every day. And in fact, our strapline is "You Can Do It," because we truly do believe that. We think that anybody can get on board with active music making. You don't have to be professionally trained in music. You don't even have to have a wealth of musical knowledge or a musical background. What you do need is enthusiasm in spades and lots of confidence. But the more you engage in that, the more confident you will become. So we have a number of licensees globally now. Actually, I was going to say in the UK, but we've gone global.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a number of licensees who run community sessions, and that will be either within early year settings or parent and children sessions just in the community. And then on top of that, we run in-house or online practitioner training. We've got a huge number of practitioner training programs and parent programs. And so we will either come into the setting or we've got them recorded digitally so that people can do self-paced training. And they all come with original Boogie Mites music that you then get to keep for your song library, to expand your song library. Lots of them also come with workshop plans so that as practitioners become more confident, they can take the reins and take it over and deliver it within their settings. Because, you know, obviously we know that repetition is so important and practice makes perfect. And the more we can engage early-ish children in music, the better the benefits. We lay really strong foundations for learning through music. So it's a really important, but sadly often overlooked component of early years development. And we really are, I'm going to sound really cheesy when I say, but we're banging the drum for early years music.
Uncompletely intended.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is true, though. It's, I mean, you know, as everyone knows, I've been in early years for about 100 years. And it's one of those things, it's like I do the songs. I mean, I bring out the song bag every day and we do the same songs and that repetition. And they, you know, children are really switched on to it. And the good thing is they don't care if you can't hold a note in a paper bag, which I certainly can't. But I go with it. I go with the beat. I go with the rhythm. I go with the repetition. And I think that's one of the key elements, isn't it? Is like, that's what it's about.
Definitely. It's so important. And as I said right at the start, you just need enthusiasm in spades. The children don't care if you can hold a tune or not. They're not interested in that particularly. What they're interested in is here's the adult in front of me having lots of fun and making me want to have lots of fun as well. And that's what's really important. And it's that element of fun that really gets the learning embedded in the brain, doing things in a fun and lively and active way. It's all well and good sitting our children in a circle to do some singing with them, but there's no learning going on if they're not actively involved. And that's one of the 4 pillars. So we developed our methodology and we call it the ABCD methodology because each of those letters stands for something important to us. So the A is for active attention. And that is about the fact that children need to be really actively joining in order for that learning to be embedded. So we use junk percussion. We use lots of props. We have scarves, shakers, tins or ice cream tubs, something that we can bang on for drums. We'll use wooden spoons from our kitchens for drumsticks or wooden dowling, whatever we've got to hand. And we get children engaging in music in a hands-on, practical way. And then going on with the rest of our methodology, the B is for brain boost, because there are so many musical neuroscience studies that have shown that the brain is really highly developed through using music. The C is for community cohesion. Nothing brings us together like music. Think about when we go to sporting events or the theatre, or there's a public celebration, you know, like fireworks night. We find ourselves engaging in music. There's either music playing, or we all have a bit of a sing-song or a bit of a dance, a wedding, for example, and nothing brings us together quite like music. So that's the community side of it. And then the cohesion is the fact that we all eventually fall into rhythm together. We all end up singing together on the same note or at the same time to the same key signature, beat, whatever. So that's the cohesion part of that. And then daily dose is our belief that in order for the music to really make a difference and help children to develop at a steady rate, and we believe that music needs to be something that is practiced daily. And that doesn't necessarily mean sitting down and doing an hour-long music session every day. It's about weaving music into your day. So, for example, lining up, putting coats on to go outside, I bet you could think of a song to do with that. Lining up to go home, I bet there's a song, a goodbye song that perhaps you'll all sing together. Or sitting down to eat together, there might be a song about washing our hands or eating our food. So it can be as simple as that, weaving music into the day. It doesn't have to be a full session every day, but it is important that there is some music every day.
Absolutely. I mean, I was laughing at you say, like, you know, washing your hands, and it's flashbacks to my nursery day. And yes, I mean, I've made up a song and the children just love it. Like, you know, washing their hands. I've got this little song that I've made up, and they want me to come in, help them wash their hands and sing this song with them.
Yeah.
But it's that repetition. They understand what it's about, and they know the actions are there. That's what they need to do. They need to make the bubbles to make their hands clean. So it really does, like the ABCD methodology there. It's perfectly true. It's like music does, it activates areas of the brain, doesn't it? That help us with our development and our growth and our learning.
Yes, it really does. So we work alongside a neuromusical researcher from Australia called Dr. Anita Collins, and she's founded a company called Bigger, Better Brains. And we absolutely love the way that she describes music, the effects of music within the brain. She says it's like fireworks going off in the brain. And she says that there is no other activity that's been seen to have such an effect on the whole brain. And she calls music a whole brain workout. Now, that goes back to studies on the brain where they kind of wire different areas of the brain up and watch the electronic on the screen. And they notice that unlike other activities, where if you were taking part in a certain activity, one area of your brain would light up when they studied, with music, everything, it was like watching fireworks. Everything was happening all at once, because lots of the neural pathways are being used and developed, and they overlap. And that's, you know, the importance of music. We're not just developing a certain area of the brain, we're doing everything at once. And lots of the neural networks are connected to the three main cortices of the brain that are all seen to be activated by regular music practice. So we've got the super sense network, and that's where we make sense of language. So that's really important. So music and language use that same neural pathway. And then we've got the reward network, which gives us a sense of achievement and motivation. And that's really important for positively reinforcing learning experiences. And then we've got the cognitive network, which is kind of like the engine room of the brain. So that's where we figure out things and the steps and the processes. So again, super important for other areas of learning, like mathematics, for example, and reasoning. And then the perceptual network, which is where we make predictions about what might come next. The cognition network, which is where we figure out kind of what everything means. So our likes, our dislikes, and kind of make sense of the world. And then our emotional network, which affects our resilience and our mood and our empathy. And that kind of links really nicely to the D of our methodology, the daily dose. because when we engage in musical activity, all these amazing chemicals and hormones flood our brain, and they are dopamine. They stand for dose, actually. The acronym is dose, which is perfect, isn't it? Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And they work together to make us feel fantastic and give us a really positive affirmation about what we've been learning about. So, music does so much, not just for our educational benefit, but also for our well-being and our sense of who we are, and a sense of how we're going to develop and grow as people. So it's a global development, really.
It really is. I mean, so for example, just randomly we would, we'd play some music on, on the speakers at nursery, and it's that engagement with the children. And it's funny you were on about that bit of research there with the whole brain, and I think I remember reading that one and seeing kind of a comparison of like the sort of the image of the brain, and just it's like Blackpool illuminations.
Yeah.
It's all going on there compared to the I'm not going to say mundane, but the sort of the day-to-day activities. It's just like, well, I just need to switch that part of my brain on. But music, it really does, because like you say, it's just the body's moving, the brain's thinking, there's all this going on. You're listening to the beat, you're singing, everything's happening all at once,
Yeah.
just from music.
And it's such a simple activity, really, isn't it? As far as the children are concerned, it's something really simple, but really fun. And as an educator, we understand that the benefits are enormous. And music is a real privileged portal into memory and attention and all of these things that we need to be able to learn and grow and develop. And music is absolutely portal to all of that. Music is our very first language. We now know that, going back kind of prime, what's the word? Primeval, is that the word?
Primordial.
Primordial, thank you.
Not bad. It's in there somewhere.
All right. So going back to primordial days, we now know that music was our first language before we could actually make these sounds into words. We would have spoken in almost musical grunts, if you like, musical tones. And that's how we communicated way back before language was even a thing. And so it's such an intrinsic thing within us, and along with rhythm. I mean, our heartbeat is a rhythm, isn't it? Music is really intrinsically steeped within us. It's everything within us, as well as being obviously that core part of our learning. And it's the most efficient and effective way of developing these neurological pathways in early childhood, because the brain develops at such a rate in our early years. So from birth up until we're about 2, we have these neurological pathways that are being developed really, really quickly all of the time. And every time we engage in something, we develop a new pathway. But at the age of 2, something happens called synaptic pruning.
Yeah.
So this is where the things that we don't engage with very often, those neurological networks, they're stripped back, because our brain goes, right, well, we don't actually need that. And what we do need is room to make new things. So it strips back the things that we're not doing very often. And the things that we do often, it really goes on to town on those, developing them, thickening them, and making those neurological connections stronger and more efficient. And that is where the importance of repetition comes in, because we have to keep repeating in order to develop those neurological pathways and make sure that that learning is for life. So we call this a magic triangle, which is the links between the auditory, the visual, and the motor cortices of the brain. We've harnessed this word from Dr. Anita Collins, also, this magic triangle. So if the connectivity between these 3 regions of the brain are really strong, then language is really easy to process. And we have a really strong foundation on which we can scaffold the next big steps after language, which of course is learning to read and is phonics. So it's about building strong foundations for learning.
It really is. I mean, it's funny you're talking about all the synapses and everything else, and the brain buzzing before the age of 2. It's like the first 1001 days, isn't it, of a child's life, from sort of pre-birth to age 2. at the moment in my head, it's like, messy brains. I was on a talk recently I was listening to a talk by Professor Sam Wass, and that's what he was talking about. But I can get that because, my favorite age group is 2-year-olds and under, and they're just amazing what they're doing. But it's like that sing-song bit with babies. I was doing a baby group recently, and we were doing song and rhyme time and just the songs and watching babies face, and they're watching, and it's that connection, isn't it? That closeness. But
Yes.
it's just that even babies' language when they're first kind of it's that sing-song sound that they're making and they're listening to it, and the pattern of it, it's always there, isn't it?
And that goes back to that sense that it's intrinsically within us. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think that we really pay much attention to the fact that, until it's pointed out to us, the fact that how do we speak to babies? We use a sing-song voice, don't we? We don't go, hello, did you sleep well? We go, hi, did you sleep well? When we go into them in the mornings
Yeah.
or after their nap. And we use this really sing-songy voice with them. And as you've just said, when they babble back to us, it's almost like a tune, isn't it? They
Hmm.
explore the almost they explore the range of their vocals
Yeah.
from a really early age, and it's just within us. It's
Magical.
something that we all tap into, even if we're not aware of it. But it is, you're right, it's absolute magic.
It is. So say, a practitioner's like, right, I think we're going to do boogie mites in our setting. What do they do? Where do they start?
Okay, so great question. A great place to start is our website. So we
Hmm.
have a Boogie Mites website, and on there, that's where they can browse all of the practitioner packs that are available, because there's such a wide range that it might be a good opportunity for them to really explore and think about what age group they want to reach, because we've split it down right from babies to crawling, and then crawling
Hmm.
age to 2, and then 2 to 3, and then we've even got a 3 to 5, a school ready program. But we've also got maths programs, an Arctic adventure for some alternative Christmassy or festive songs. We've got so much. So looking at our website might be great. We've also got practitioner training packs which go into our methodology and the neuroscience
Hmm.
a lot more. So at the moment, we've developed 2 new training packs. One is called Music and Movement Equals Language and Literacy.
Hmm.
And that's like a bit of a taster training pack. So you get some modules about the importance of music within early years, and you get 4 songs with that pack and a workshop plan. And then we've got our second training pack, which is called the ABCD of Doh, Re, Mi. And that's our newest one that we're launching at the moment. And that is 6 self-paced modules. And with that, you get 6 songs. And within each of those modules, we talk about our methodology, but also how you can incorporate those songs into your setting. And then at the end, there's a workshop plan, which will link all of the songs into a 45-minute
Hmm.
workshop that can be delivered. So we've got all of that available online, but you can also email us or contact us through social media, because we're on every platform pretty much. Because we can also arrange bespoke training. So we can either deliver on-site training, where we will come in and do a half a day or a day with all of the practitioners in a
Hmm.
setting, and we will go through everything with you and then kind of help you to launch Boogie Mice into your setting, so that you then take the reins and deliver it. Or we can be booked to come in for like a 6-week block, for example, and we will come in and deliver the sessions every week. So you can really get to grips with it all and see how we deliver it, and
Hmm.
then gradually feel confident enough to do it that way if you feel that's what you need. Or we've got just this on-site online training, where, as I said, people can just go buy the packs and then hit the ground running with that if they want to. And all of the resources are on a digital platform, so they can go back and watch all of those as many times
Hmm.
as they want. So they've always got it as a backup to go back and check, how do I do this bit again? Oh, right. And
Yeah.
within all of those, there's some on-site video, so you can see how it actually looks in a setting and see
Hmm.
how how the children are reacting. And then there are also practitioner videos where we will be stood there actually showing you this is how you can deliver this particular song. So it's fully supported. And as I said, you know, we're very contactable. So you can pop on and have a chat with us, or email us, or ask us for a video call, and we'll talk you through all of the options that are available. So that would be the first stop, I think, to have a look on our website or our social media, and then get in touch with us from there.
I will agree, you're very contactable. Very contactable.
We
But
really are.
it is that bit, I think you were saying there as well about, like, you know, if you're doing the online training part, or even like the face-to-face. I mean, I'm not dissing the face-to-face, but a lot of things, particularly post-pandemic, everyone just tends to go online with a lot of stuff. But there's that bit, it's like, how do you do that bit? But you can, like, it's that nice bit that you can go, I've forgotten how to do that. Let me just go and look at that video. It's that in touch bit where you can just jump in when you need to, and
Yeah.
go back and view it again, which is really, really useful, especially for practitioners that are maybe slightly apprehensive about it and think, well, I can't do it. It's a music session. I don't know anything about it.
And the other thing that we hear talking exactly around that point is, with our digital training, the practitioners who are less confident will play that over and over and over and practice it themselves first before they launch it into delivering to the children. So it gives them the opportunity. And we do have this where practitioners will say, I practiced to a colleague. We did a pretend Boogie Mites session, but just amongst the adults, because that gives them the confidence so that when they deliver in front of the children, they know exactly what they're doing. But as we've already said, the children, you know, they're not looking to catch us out. They're not looking for mistakes. So part of the growth, I think, of it all is learning alongside each other, adults and children together.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be upset if people are singing the wrong lyrics, and neither are the children. No. So it's all about getting into it together and having lots of fun together. So we've also got an app as well, a Boogie Mites app. And that is aimed, we do have settings that use it, and we do have early years professionals that use it, and childminders, in setting nurseries, early years settings that use our app, but we also have a lot of parents that use the app. Mm-hmm. And again, that's 66 videos and songs that you can just put on at home or put on within your childcare setting and just have lots of fun too. And they're split into 3 categories. So the first is topical tunes, which are our Boogie Mites original songs. Mm-hmm. And then we've got a phonics fun section, which are letter sound songs. So they're perfect for the children who are perhaps in their year where they're transitioning towards going to primary school. And they're letter sound songs that we wrote in partnership with our Indian partners at Nutspace. And we have a fabulous storyteller called Rohini Vij, who has the most expressive face, and she delivers these on the videos. She dresses up as a tiger for the tiger song, and she's a little fox on a box for the song. So she's really animated and wonderful. And then our third category, we were so lucky to have this connection, but we wrote our third category, which is called musical poems, with the one and only absolute legend, Michael Rosen. Oh. And yeah, it was such a privilege. And we took 2 of his books. So we took Ready for Spaghetti and A Great Big Cuddle. And Harriet, our founder and our singer-songwriter, wrote the music and the lyric, took some of his poems as the lyrics and wrote the music to it, and developed these songs totally in partnership with him, in collaboration with him. And so we've been really lucky that we've been able to launch that with him as well. So that's another way that people can find us and engage with us. And then the final option for practitioners, if they're not quite sure about, I don't know if I want to think about a full training pack or not, is that every month we deliver a monthly webinar on a different theme, often co-presented with another expert in an early years field. So it might be music and maths, it might be music and bells and shakers with a Montessori teacher that we've got coming up in December. Next Monday, I'm delivering music and physical education with Josh Candy, who's the founder of Early Years
Oh,
PE.
yes. Josh has
So,
been a regular guest on here.
oh, fabulous. We're really looking forward to working with him. So each month is just something a little bit different. Again, it comes with 2 songs. So whoever comes to our monthly webinars gets 2 more songs for their song library. And it's live. It's just a live hour and a quarter webinar. And it's a great way for people to kind of dip their toe in the water as well. So we have regular members and attendees who come and join us and are there every single month, and they are busy collecting all of these songs for their song library and gaining all of this wealth of knowledge that we get from our lovely experts. But it's also a great way for new people to kind of dip their toe into the water and just see what we're all about.
It's that bit, isn't it? Like that's a really handy way of like building up that confidence as well.
Yes.
It's that bit. Sometimes I feel that, when you're singing in front of the children, some practitioners feel they've got to be like, Taylor Swift and putting on a full concert. It's not like that, really, is it? It's just get there, have fun. It's like singing in the shower, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, it really, yeah, it really, really is. You don't have to be Taylor Swift. Definitely not. Costumes wouldn't fit me anyway, but it's just it's about having fun and getting involved in a really hands-on approach, because it boosts cognitive development for everybody involved, both the adults and the children. And the early years educators are the best placed people to get involved in all of this. As early as practitioners, you perhaps see the children more than maybe even the parents do up in some weeks. And so those children just as well as their own parents do. You know what they like, you know what they don't like, you know what they're likely to engage in. And so, you don't have to be a musician, you don't need expensive instruments, you just need maybe a little bit of jump percussion, spades of enthusiasm, and that knowledge of the child so that it can be child-led as well. And we're promoting, those group learning skills, we're promoting that sense of community. And it is such a great vehicle also for getting parents involved. There's absolutely no reason why, once you're confident with it, you couldn't invite parents in as well and say, look, we've got a little music session that we want to share with you. And it's a great way of kind of making links between your setting and the parents as well, I think. And it's just super inclusive. It's such an inclusive activity. It's accessible. It can be eco-friendly if we go down this jump percussion route. So it doesn't kind of matter what stage of development the children are at, because everybody can tap into it in some way. And the same goes for the practitioners. They don't have to have had this wealth of experience. And they will notice also the benefits the more they engage with it as well. And again, this is feedback that we've had from practitioners who have said, I was really nervous to begin with. I wasn't really sure about it. Music isn't really my thing. And then a couple of weeks down the line, they'll say, do you know what? I'm the person that delivers that every week. We love it. We have a great time. Their confidence has grown in leaps and bounds as well. And, we all come away from a session feeling uplifted and feeling like we've had a proper mood boost. So there's no bad side to it. It's just
no, absolutely not. I love that bit as well. One of the words you said there was accessible, and the other you were talking about how junk percussion as well, because not every setting has a huge array of musical instruments, and I suppose that could be a little worry in the back of some people's mind. But that junk percussion, we've all done it, making the shakers with pasta in a plastic bottle and banging pots and pans. I mean, we did that enough during the pandemic, we won't go there, but it's there, it's right in front of us. We've got all the materials, and it's just like you say, it's accessible and it's inclusive as well.
It is super inclusive. Everybody can get involved in some way. We have a Boogie Mites SEN teacher who delivers SEN sessions every single week, and every single person in that session participates in some way. And it's about meeting everybody at their level, everybody. And we've seen this through our baby sessions as well. We have parents who will say, oh, my baby's only a few weeks old. Bring them, because I can guarantee you in 6 weeks' time, there'll be something that you notice that shows that they're fully engaged. whether it's that they are starting to kind of move their hands in time to the music, or whether they're trying to grab the instruments from you because they want to have a little feel of them themselves. Everybody can meet this in some way, no matter where they're coming from. It is so accessible, and it breaks language barriers as well. We found, you know, you don't even all need to be speaking the same language to take part in a music activity. Because if you stand in front of somebody and you start clapping at a rhythm and you're giving everybody eye contact and encouraging them to join in with you, they'll join in, and you don't even need to say the words that go along with that. You just need to kind of give people lots of positive eye contact and keep your rhythm steady, and people will join in with you.
It's that bit like tapping on the table and things like that.
Yeah.
They do. It's the children are like, what's going on? The other bit as well, like when you're doing song sessions with children, and you've always, like, quite often you get that one child who just sits on the edge, but they're still getting something from that. You don't have to drag them in. They're not ready for that. And that's the good thing about it. It's like, when you're ready, just join in. We're going to sing. You can listen and you can hear it. You can feel that rhythm. You can hear that beat. You know, it's all there.
Yes, yeah, and we find that does happen. There will be children that aren't fully ready to engage entirely at the beginning, but again, more often than not, by the time we've got to the end of a set block of sessions, they are joining in and they are taking part. And it might not be in the same way as everybody else, but every win is still a win, no matter how small. So if they've gone from sitting on the side with their back turned to you with their arms crossed, to turning around facing you and perhaps clapping their hands every now and then, it's still a win, isn't it? They have shown that they are listening, and they have shown that they are engaged. And again, even if they're just clapping their hands while everybody else is dancing and moving and shaking and using the instruments, if they are clapping their hands, it's still active attention. They're still doing something that's going to consolidate the learning, because they're doing something rhythmical and they're doing something physical.
Amazing. Well, time has caught up with us, I'm afraid. But can I just get you to give a shout out for the Boogie Mites website? Where can they find that?
Thank you. Yeah, so our website is www.boogiemites.co.uk. And then on Facebook, we are just Boogie Mites. But we also have a Boogie Mites Music Club Facebook page as well. So there's lots of other things on that also. And for practitioners, we've got a Boogie Mites Facebook group, which is all about our methodology. And we share lots of videos and tips and bits of practice on there. And it's called the Boogie Mites ABCD Music Community. And we've got about 260, 270 members in there at the moment. And it's where we will share bits of our methodology. We might share exclusive interview clips, we might share a couple of songs in there, or blogs, whatever we have going on, we will share in there. And then on Instagram, we are also Boogie Mites, and the same on LinkedIn. We are on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it, but we're not active on there anymore. So if you talk to us on Twitter, we might not be as responsive because we don't keep such an eye on that. But Facebook group, Instagram, LinkedIn, we're all there. We are even on TikTok, but in a very small capacity.
I know TikTok's growing well. Oh, yeah. Tasha, it's been absolutely amazing to talk to you, and I think I might just go and let my, sneak into the practitioner group, because
please do. We'd love you to join us.
Well, Tasha Bretton, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you this evening.